Today's Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Look at this crew. We're looking back at you and saying good morning. Our own very...
How do you know what we're doing?
I can see it.
I was thinking that good.
Were you?
You assumed it, though.
I was right. Welcome to DBL, guys. Our own Dr. Coley is here. Welcome.
Yes.
And thank you for being here.
And Dr. Jackson.
And Dr. Jackson. Always good to have you both. I'm glad you're here because a lot of us have some questions about one of, I think, nationally treasured actors, Bruce Willis. And I don't know if you guys know the news. If you haven't heard, his family posted a health update on Instagram along with this picture that said his aphasia has progressed and he's now been diagnosed with something called frontotemporal dementia, also known as FTD. They went on to say that while the news is painful, it's also a relief to finally have a clear diagnosis. They also wanted to thank fans for the outpouring of support. So for our audience, for us, for everyone, what is frontotemporal dementia? And how is it different than just regular dementia?
Yeah, it was so sad to hear John McClane.
I was like,
you know,
my diehard. I know.
Yeah, and the sad thing about frontotemporal dementia, guys, it affects the areas of our brain that can really change our personality. So dementia is an umbrella term that really talks about all types of sort of brain degeneration that can lead to changes in our personality, our behavior, our ability to think. Now, of all the dementias, we all know about Alzheimer's, frontotemporal makes up about 10 to 20% of those dementias. And it occurs earlier, so about a decade before Alzheimer's. So think about Bruce Willis, he's only 67 years old, has this dementia, and it affects the frontal lobe, which is this part up here right behind our forehead. That's kind of our personality, our behaviors, and it affects the temporal lobe, which is back here, which can be our language areas, which can be our motor areas. So we heard that he had some issues with language, but you basically see a lot of personality changes, you see language changes, and you can see motor changes.
Just as you're talking, I'm thinking about, like, growing up, there were family members this kind of happened to, and they were like, I hope you don't remember your so-and-so like this, because they weren't, you know, they're kind of cranky and irritable, and it's just sad all around.
Disease.
But Doc, I'm sure most doctors get this once a diagnosis is given. Most family members are like, what does this mean for our loved one, in this case Bruce Willis, and what does this mean for the family in general?
Yeah, so I mean, the types of changes you can have can be really dramatic. Like, you can have huge personality changes, you can have irritability and mood swings. You can have compulsive eating behaviors, like you're putting things in your mouth that you're not supposed to be eating. So you can be at high risk for conditions like infection. You get sort of poor personal hygiene. You sort of stop taking care of yourself. Of course, the executive function, the thinking, the planning, all of that goes away. You can have trouble with communication and with language. And if you look at the course of the disease, it can, you know, it can progress from 2 years to 20 years, but on average, it progresses over about 8 years. So over the next 8 years, we expect to see things getting potentially progressive. And for the family, this could mean full-time care could be necessary, potentially nursing home, you know, all of those are real possibilities.
Is there any sort of treatment for something like that, or is there something in the future, maybe 100 years from now? What do you do if a family member has something like this? Is there anything you can do, is what I'm asking.
So you can treat the symptoms. So for example, you have trouble with language, you can do speech therapy. Trouble with mood swings, you can do kind of an antidepressant to sort of even out your mood. But unfortunately, you can't treat the problem. The underlying problem, which we think is protein deposition in the brain, degeneration of the nerve connections in those two parts of the brain. So you can't really change the course and trajectory of the disease. And for some people, it progresses rapidly. For some, a little more slowly. For some, they lose more, you know, frontal functions like personality. For some, they lose more language functions. So it's very variable, but you just kind of have to wait it out and treat the symptoms, unfortunately.
Does he like know who he is? I know that sounds like a weird question. Does he know he's Bruce Willis?
You know, at this point, probably it's hard to speculate.
And we know you're speculating.
Yeah,
but so early in the disease,
right?
like if he just got diagnosed, it sounds like his first presentation was the aphasia, was the language center sort of that started to, and that's why he stopped acting and stopped reading the scripts. Now, it's hard to know whether he's losing insight into himself, like what happens with Alzheimer's. That usually happens kind of more advanced forms of the disease, so we don't see it quite as early. But he might be behaving differently. You know, he might have more mood swings, he might be more cranky, and like I said, people can do behaviors like repetitive lip smacking or, you know, other sorts of habits that they didn't have before can start to wake up.
How about medication? Could you slow that down with medication? I'm just trying to think of like families out there, and that would be my first question. Is there anything that you could do
So medicine won't change the disease, it'll treat the symptoms. So if he's really doing something, that he shouldn't be doing.
A tick, or you said smacking lips.
Yeah,
something.
so you can use medicines to treat kind of repetitive motor behaviors.
But it's like a Band-Aid kind of, huh?
Right. So you're not treating what's causing the problem, you're just sort of helping the patient and the family members cope with it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I don't know him, but I feel like, you know what I mean?
It's sad, but we feel
really
like we have. I mean,
we feel like you do.
You do.
We spent
I
hours
know.
and dozens and dozens of hours of our lives staring at this man, getting to know him, hearing him interviewed, and in a way, we do know a part of him. So I think that's the somber mood that we're feeling on the panel. And plus, he's just also a human being. We have empathy for the family. We know somebody will one day have to do that for us. I'm sure a lot of us have had to do that for family members.
You're
which I
right.
have, so.
And the caregiving is very hard, very, very difficult. Let's talk about another well-known star, 88-year-old Dame Judi Dench. She's revealed her condition of advanced macular degeneration has gotten worse. So it's now to the point where it is impossible, she says, for her to read scripts. Talk to us about what is macular degeneration.
It's basically an eye disease that causes loss of vision. So if you think about your retina, which is kind of where all the images are projected, it's like a projector for a movie screen. And when you have macular degeneration, you can basically get damage of the macula, which is a part of the retina. So the blood vessels on the retina can be leaky. So think about watching a movie screen with splotches on it, where the fine vision kind of goes, but not necessarily vision overall. So you don't end up going blind with it, but you do end up losing the ability to read things like reading scripts and looking at sort of small details. And
again, Doc, LASIK, right? Is there something you could be done for that?
so there are treatments, in fact, a number of different treatments. Early in the disease, they just sort of change your diet, because if you put more antioxidants, more vitamins, eat less junk food. Tori, I'm looking at you.
I'm good with junk food. Look how thin I'm looking.
You are, in fact, today. But if you eat, no,
No one said anything.
I did. I laughed.
Okay, that's good.
I like the Dr.
It's the black, Tori. We look fantastic.
We look good in black. That's right. No, but my godfather, I thought, is there anything with like shots?
yes, you can inject. It's called anti-VEGF. It prevents the blood vessels from leaking, from growing and from leaking. So you can inject that into the eye. There's some laser therapies you can do. But again, it's one of those conditions that age is one of the biggest drivers of it. Some behavioral stuff as well. But it's sad when you lose your vision, because it's such a big part of who we are.
Especially as an actor, like.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Bruce, Dame, Judy, we are thinking of you. And thank you for that update, Dr. Coley. Thank you for being here, answering all our questions. You can also follow Dr. Coley on Twitter at PyleColeyMD. Coming up on DBL, our interview with actor Corbin Burnson. He's explaining how faith played a huge role in his latest project, and Ashton Kutcher reveals the odd way he takes his coffee. Would you add OJ to your morning cup of joe? No, because that's gross.
Our viewers are talking about DBL.
Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless. I'm like blushing. Thank you, thank you.
That's emotional.
Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do.
One of the most interesting things is hearing
Dr. Coley, I think
we
like.
talked for like 2.5 minutes.
God, I got every question we kind of asked was like, please tell us that there's something that can be done.
Which is amazing, but yeah, think about though you putting an injection into your eye.
Can they knock you out for that or something?
Yeah, it's not so bad, actually.
Because I asked my godfather, he's like, it's fine. He's a pediatrician.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that sounds like Saw.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Oh,
could,
yeah.
what, yeah, okay. But I'm, yeah, that
I
scares
mean,
me.
our eye has a lot of nerve receptors, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about if you just get a little eyelash or something in your eye, it really hurts
Bothers
your eye.
you,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. But it's really not, the injection's not so bad. It's more what the disease does, and the fact that as we get older, there are things like our brain who define who we are, and our vision who change our entire experience that we just lose.
Yeah.
And we need to do better in medicine, I think, to try to find ways to prevent some of these things. Like for frontotemporal dementia, we don't even know yet what causes it.
Is it not plaque? It's not the same thing, is it?
I was going to ask you, because yesterday we were talking about, being able to kind of make genetically custom-made babies, basically. Would this be something that we would be able to identify and eliminate in
Like
an
CRISPR.
embryo before?
Yes, and so we know there's a genetic component, because if you have a family history of dementia, your risk of frontotemporal dementia is much higher. So presumably, we just need to find, is it one single gene, is it multiple genes, and how would you edit those genes? And then a bigger question, is it actually ethical to edit the gene? Because editing that gene may also have effects on that person's personality.
And now we're
Or
talking Gattaca.
they
And now we're in
develop
Ex Machina, and now we're in the future. actor.
Ex Machina and Gattaca have nothing to do with each other.
They don't.
Nothing at
There's
all.
both robots and
No,
DNA,
Gattaca, they weren't,
and they're both
there were
filmed.
no robots in Gattaca.
Woo. Welcome back. When it comes to weird food combinations, good opening, these celebrities take the cake. Good. Example, Ashton Kutcher recently admitted he prefers a splash of OJ in his coffee instead of creamer.
Okay, that's gross, but is that equivalent to sometimes when you go to a fancy coffee place, they have like some of the ones in Ethiopia, they have that citrus coffee blend?
Yeah, like
if you
Turkish
it's not
or
for me, but
Iranian.
I guess maybe just get that so you don't gross everybody at the table out.
I want to try it, kinda. I'm gonna try it, and then
Maybe we could
sounds
try
gross.
it today. Let's try and figure that out. Get that started.
Yeah,
Probably
maybe,
not.
Maybe we can get those ingredients. An orange in the coffee.
Someone's like, man, I gotta run to the store
I
now.
know,
It's
sorry.
Friday.
All right, Tiffany Haddish told Harper's Bazaar she likes to stuff her dill pickles with Jolly Ranchers.
No, Tiff's my girl, and I can't get down with this
That
one.
sounds like a pregnancy craving, doesn't it?
It really does. And then like put pickles you bite into, and then you're biting into a hard Jolly Rancher. Somebody explain this to me.
I don't know
It's
either.
the sweet and the sour, though, I guess.
What's your favorite Jolly Rancher, real quick? I'm a watermelon.
Apple.
Ooh, watermelon's delicious.
All right.
Don't sleep on cherry.
Don't sleep on cherry. Gene Simmons tweeted out he likes to eat his cereal with ice cubes. Ew.
I don't get that. My dad used to eat cereal with gigantic chunks of banana in there, and I know people. I just thought that was
like
the
banana.
grossest thing I'd ever seen.
Dude,
I love
a
banana.
good Kellogg's or a good Rice Krispie with some
I know,
bananas in there. You get a little fruit.
I agree.
like it.
Wow, Jeff and I are kind of on the same
Banana
wavelength
sitting
here.
in milk. I could not think of anything worse.
You don't like bananas or eggs, though. So
That's
makes
true.
sense. Okay.
I'm a little.
Channing Tatum likes to crumble Cheetos in his PB&J sandwiches.
I could see, PB&J? No.
Yeah.
Maybe like a turkey sandwich, you put your chips in there as
Yeah,
a kid
salty.
and smash it all down.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
Little crunchy,
And
little
also, it's
texture.
the sweet and the sour again. It's kind of like just different ways to get that palate combination.
Yeah, and Cheetos has an interesting palate choice. All right, Tori Spelling swears by her husband's, ready? Gummy bears salad recipe.
Sometimes I think people are just saying this because they want to be different or talk about them. You don't do that.
You don't.
That's disgusting.
Who puts gummies in their salads?
I put gummies in my frozen yogurt.
That's delicious.
Yes.
Different.
Let's go around and ask, what weird flavor food combinations do you have, Mr. Schroeder?
So I get this as a snack, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, but you ever get fennel bulbs?
Oh, yeah, I hate them.
They're my favorite.
They taste like licorice.
I just eat them.
black
Yeah, they're
licorice.
like licorice. So I love that flavor. And I just, because they're healthy, it's like a vegetable. And I just eat it. I love it.
My mom puts salt on them and.
But don't forget, Jeff, and I've talked about you to other people. Not only do you like black licorice, but you like that Swedish black licorice that I
no
brought in
one
that was
likes.
from Sweden. That was like
Disgusting.
It was like a level 10
was-
black licorice. And Jeff was like, "Where'd you get this?"
No
we
one
were
liked
trying
it
to do
but
like a
Jeff.
food challenge with it. Like, could you keep it in your mouth?
It was disgusting. I spit it out.
Yeah,
I spit it out.
It was rough.
Albert?
I wouldn't have any like weird. I guess the weirdest I get is our own Karen. She's from Canada, so I know they do French fries and mayo. I used to do French fries with my with the tartar sauce in my fish sandwich.
Oh, that's good.
At McDonald's.
That's good.
A little
I'll
Pulp
take that.
Fiction.
I
Yeah.
like that.
What
I
about
don't
you?
mind. I don't know if this is weird, but I like my eggs mixed with a strawberry jelly. Is it? I was hoping it wasn't that reaction, and it was.
I'm not a big jelly and toast guy. My wife is. I'm more butter and toast. She's from the
jelly.
South, and she's a jelly and toast
Yeah,
person.
I like to mix a lot of it into my eggs. Or if I'm having like a toad in the
lot
hole,
of it.
I put strawberry jelly on top of my toad on the hole.
So you're like a child.
Yeah. Shit, no comeback.
I'm like, don't I look like? Coming up on DBL, our interview with our actor Corbin Burnson. He's telling us all about his journey of faith in the entertainment business.
Yours?
Yeah, why does it say our actor?
An enduring image of war and triumph. that iconic moment on February 23rd, 1945, when U.S. Marines raised the American flag over Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Made larger than life.
This is the United States Marine Corps War Memorial.
To commemorate Marine lives lost.
It honors all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
And though the memorial depicts a real moment in history, legend has it the sculptor handed it an even larger meaning.
Kind of a persistent myth.
Viewer Janine asked us about it after seeing the story in an online post, that on a statue of 6 men, there are 13 hands, with the extra meant to symbolize the hand of God helping raise the flag. So we went to the National Park Service, the Marine Corps website, and to the Memorial Park to verify.
This gained traction as the internet came into being. And it became so persistent that even one historian actually went and talked to the sculptor, and he asked him, did you add a 13th hand in there? Apparently he threw his hands up and said, 13, who needs a 13th hand? 12 were enough.
From the ground in Arlington, we could only count 12 hands, 2 for each of the 6 men the U.S. Marine Corps has officially identified as raising the flag in Japan that day. NPS spokesman Mark Malloy says during recent renovations, a crew up on scaffolding even looked around for a hidden extra hand somewhere in the folds.
12 hands.
So we can verify, no, there's no 13th hand on the Marine Corps War Memorial.
But don't let that take anything away from it.
It's pretty inspirational, kind of makes it ripe for those kinds of myths to kind of be born. But I don't think you even need those myths to tell this story, because the heroism and sacrifice of those Marines is enough.
With your Verify from Arlington, I'm Abby Larico.
Phone rings. Hi, sorry to inform you your father's just passed away. He's gone. Where is he? I was keenly aware of I'm on deck. Here I've had this successful career. What does it all mean? There's something deeper in life here that I need to explore.
Interesting. Welcome back to DBL. That was a clip from Journey of Faith, a new documentary that has Emmy-nominated actor Corbin Burnson asking some of life's biggest questions. Earlier, we spoke with him. Check it out.
Please welcome Corbin.
Hey, everybody. What's up, Corbin? Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get to the documentary.
What's up? I'm listening to all your stories and so happy I live up here in the woods away from it all and thinking, like, I don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
Jeff wishes
I mean, I want to follow in your footsteps, hopefully. I'm going to be up there, too. For sure.
Oh, man, it's great. I'll tell you, I was listening to it going like, yes, I left that. People say, why'd you move to upstate New York? Well, because of all that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Makes sense.
Singing.
Smart guy.
Yeah, very smart, very smart. Before we get to your documentary, as a fan of Major League, I saw this picture recently on TMZ Sports, and I had to ask, I know you're away from everything now, but what was it like reuniting with these guys after more than 30 years?
It was fantastic. I mean, I'm not away from everything. I go out and I work. I was just in L.A. last week. But it was wonderful seeing them, especially Charlie. You know, we all know, speaking of all the stories, we know everything that's happened with Charlie. I'm so happy and proud to say, as a friend of his, how wonderfully he's doing, and so ready to get back to work and get to it and do all the things that he's so wonderful at. And he's just a great guy. It was monumental. Tom and I have been staying friends over the years, but reconnecting with Charlie on a on a good basis was really nice.
That's great.
That's really nice. All right, we want to get your opinion on a little hot topic right now. Your mom was a soap star for decades. Your dad was an agent and producer. Are you a Nepo baby?
Ooh.
Or do you feel that
we have this discussion around here? I don't really get it, because wasn't it always like Johnson and Sons blacksmiths and so and so. I mean, here's the deal. And I tell my kids, because they all want to be in the entertainment business. And am I a Nepo baby? Yeah, my mom was in the business. So was my father. You know, they opened doors. They opened the doors to my imagination that I wanted to do this thing. Sure. But at the end of the day, you guys know it. You got to come through.
You got to work.
You know, you can only open a door. You got to come through, and then it's talent. But why shouldn't I be a blacksmith if my dad's a blacksmith? Why shouldn't I be a painter if my dad was a painter? It's up here where we live. It's everybody in Sons: painters, carpenters, electricians.
That's a great point, Corbin. I do want to, Tori mentioned your late great mother. I mean, Catherine Chancellor is who I know her as. That's her character's name. But Jeannie Cooper, I have to tell you, I was obsessed with her. When I finally went to LA, I got the opportunity to go into CBS Studios and go into the Young and the Restless set. All I wanted to do was sit in Catherine Chancellor's living room on that iconic couch. And I just have to tell you, oh man, I have a picture. I should have sent it. But I just have to tell you, your mom was a legend. That's all I have to say.
She was an extraordinary person, and not to dovetail into what we're doing here, but she was the one who introduced me to this notion of just taking, and again, I find that she'd be so happy that it kind of gets me. She'd be so happy that I'm up here enjoying this beauty, because that's who she was.
Corbin, thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to hold space for a second.
That's what this whole thing, my journey of faith, is all about. It's getting to the place where, we put all this stuff, Hollywood, we're against this, I'm anti this, you're pro this, I'm this, I'm that, and you get up here, and I was standing by a tree the other day, and the tree looked down at me, and I'm not going to say the word, but it basically said, F you, man. You're just you, I'm a tree, we're no different. And when you get to that place where you realize all this other stuff is just nonsense, it's just it's just filler to this stuff of this incredible gift that we've all been given of this journey, of this life that we have, wherever it takes you, the extraordinary beauty, the kindness, love, food, whatever is your thing, music, it's a shame that we sort of dilute it with, I don't know, I don't want to demean the kind of stuff you guys were talking about earlier, but actually I have a big fear. I'm afraid if I ever get nominated for anything, I won't have anything to wear, because I couldn't keep up with the way people dress.
I'm saying, wear that. I want to wear that.
Are you crazy? I mean, I flipped through pictures. I went this is like Star Trek or something.
It's like Hunger Games.
I feel like I'm talking to my future self right now. This is wild. This is a wild experience. I'm loving it.
It's super true. I feel like you two are two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Listen, if you got any tree houses up there, put my name on one, Corbin, for me.
Well, I build tree houses. That's like my jam.
Awesome.
I like wherever we go, I build tree houses.
My new neighbor.
For all the houses we've lived in, wherever they are, I always build a tree house for my kids.
Corbin, you blew our mind. I hope that one day you can come, if you're ever in Denver, come to our set. We have got a lot of trees around here. A lot of trees. You're welcome.
Denver's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
And DBL Nation, you gotta check out Journey of Faith. It is a 6-part docuseries streaming now on pureflix.com. You don't want to miss it. Thank you, Corbin. We appreciate you.
Welcome back. Busta Rhymes goes flip mode squad on a fan. The Jersey Housewives are digging up family drama. Plus, how did H-Town hottie Meg Thee Stallion celebrate her birthday? In this week's What Erica's Watching. First, what would you do if a stranger grabbed your butt? Well, here's what rapper Busta Rhymes did when a woman did just that. He quickly identified the offender and cooled her off with an ice-cold drink to the face, because apparently the chick was thirsty. Now, if she really was a fan of him, she would have just put her hands where his eyes could see. Next, the feuds are already flying amongst the Jersey Housewives. Table flipping Teresa had her sister-in-law, Melissa, heated over her seat at the table. Teresa claims it was a mistake that Melissa and her brother Joe weren't seated at the family table during her engagement party. But Melissa called out the shady move and declined Teresa's weak olive branch to be a bridesmaid.
If you would love to be a bridesmaid,
why are you acting like you're doing me a favor?
I'm not. I would love for you to be a bridesmaid in my wedding. I'm being for real.
Now, Melissa did the right thing. I mean, can you imagine the mess if she took the bait? Now, like me, Megan Thee Stallion is an Aquarius, and the rap queen turned 28 this week and also celebrated becoming the first Black woman on the cover of Forbes magazine 30 Under 30. Congrats, Queen. This is our year, and I am proud of you. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBL Erica Watch. We'll be right back.
The average person gets 2 to 4 colds a year. Most of these are mild and treated with rest and plenty of liquids. But MSNBC anchor Yasmin Vasugian said she developed myocarditis after a cold. Myocarditis is a serious but rare condition when the heart becomes inflamed. Some people online were skeptical a cold could cause this, and Verify viewer Ian asked us about it on Facebook. So, let's verify. Our sources are the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, Johns Hopkins Medicine, Mount Sinai Health System, and the American Heart Association. When you get infected with a cold, your body's immune system fights back by sending white blood cells to attack the virus where it's lodged in your body. If the virus makes its way to your heart, then Mount Sinai says the white blood cells will follow. However, when the cells are in the heart, they also release a chemical that can inflame the muscle. This is called acute myocarditis, which can cause the heart to become swollen and weak for weeks. In mild cases, the Heart Association says it can be resolved with rest and medication to treat the root cause of myocarditis and reduce the swelling. More serious cases may need long-term care. So, yes, you can develop myocarditis after having a cold. Other viral infections like the flu, as well as bacterial and fungal infections, can also lead to myocarditis. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Today's sandals word of the day is ocean. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Jamaica.
Welcome back. We're talking all about the maintenance people may overlook for their car. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, get a wheel alignment service, especially you live in an area with a lot of potholes. Next, have your brakes serviced every 20,000 miles. And finally, consider getting your air conditioning system serviced before temperatures start rising this year. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-687-1821. Jeff, you got a comment here from Singin' Mary.
Oh.
I really enjoyed the interview with Corbin Bernsen. So touching. He gets it. Jeff and Corbin, I think, could become fast friends. I'm really enjoying this 3-host panel today.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah, I was talking, I think, to Sam after that interview, and I was like, he's as famous as you could possibly be, iconic, and you know what? He's in the woods building tree houses thinking about his dad. That's the point.
That's the life.
That's the goal.
The life.
Like, to just, like, you had a great career, and now you can just reflect and enjoy.
He looked happy, didn't he?
Shout out, yes.
Corbin. Major League also so highly underrated. It's a fantastic
Major League
movie.
is not underrated. It's a classic.
Okay.
Anybody's...
It's a stone cold classic.
It holds up, though. That's
it
the thing
sure does hold up. DBL is new every single day. We will see you same time, same place, Monday. Be good to yourselves, be good to others, and go out and take a walk, huh?